Hello everyone, my name is DevShot. I'll be showing you guys how to make this super simple, scalable, true first person double jump. I'll be showing you guys exactly how to make everything and exactly why it works. Um, Everything I'll be explaining step by step, and it's super simple, scalable, and there's barely any code. This is literally all the code. This, and this. Three things. You can copy it if you like, but I recommend watching the whole video so you understand exactly why and how everything works. See you in the video. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Devshot, and today I'll be showing you guys how to make a simple double jump that's simple and scalable. So first of all, you go into the third person folder, blueprints, third person character. Simple. I already have it open. So first of all, you gotta go into the viewport, and you're gonna select the camera boom and put the target arm length back to 0. It should be 400, and then you gotta set it to 0. So what this is gonna do is make the camera follow camera, which is under camera boom, all the way at the start of the camera boom. What the camera boom basically does is just makes sure that there's no clipping into the walls. You cannot go through the walls or something. I actually collide with them. Yeah. And next up, you're gonna put it into the mesh. Put the camera boom into the mesh. Now what this is gonna do is enable this parent socket area. If it's not inside the mesh, it's not under the mesh, you will not have access to this. So you gotta put it under the mesh, and then click this folder icon, and you're gonna want to search head. I already have it over here, so I'm just gonna click on this, but you can search head, and you're gonna see that this is in a weird position. So if you just click this return button, it will go back to the player's head, the where the socket is. Now you can leave these rotations at 0, 0, and 90 because that rotates the camera the way we want it. And all we're gonna do is forward once and top once. It was already a true first person, but doing this just makes sure we don't see inside of our character. And yeah, no, that's true first person done overall, but you can see we can just, yeah, we can do this. So to fix that, what we're gonna do is go into class defaults, or just click this top root button, and you're gonna wanna search rotation. Literally nothing else, just rotation. And we're gonna wanna untick orient rotation to movement and tick use controller desired rotation. Now what this is gonna do is it's gonna allow the player to rotate towards where the camera is looking. So if we don't use this, the same thing that I showed you before, the clipping will keep happening. And the next thing we're gonna do is use controller rotation yaw. It's gonna be at the bottom section, under pawn. Make sure you don't click roll or pitch. You wanna use controller rotation yaw. Take that. And then, as you can see, we have a true first person character, and that's all there is to the true first person. Now let's get to the actual jump. So we already have one configured here, but that's just the basic simple jump. So first of all, I'm just gonna remove these touch events. I don't really need those. You can keep them if you like, but I'm not gonna use them. So let's just remove this as well, just give us a bit more freedom. All we're gonna do is first of all delete these two, compile and save. On started, you're gonna wanna do a branch to check for a variable. Let's create that variable. The variable is gonna be can jump. This is just for other areas. For example, when you're wall running, if you don't want to do a normal jump, you can set can jump to false, and then you won't be able to jump. It won't. If you don't have any other systems, you don't really need this. But then let's go through the true pin, and this is important. You gotta use this node, do n, this one, do and then capital N. So what this node does is you can enter a number over here, and that will limit the amount of times the code after this will run. So we want a double jump, so we want this to run 2 times. If you want a triple jump or quadruple jump or whatever, you can set that number right here. We're gonna drag off the reset pin. This is what resets the counter. Like for example, if you want to land and then reset the counter, this is how you do it. You create a custom event, call it CE for custom event, reset jump. You can name it whatever you like, but this is just my naming convention. So CE reset jump. We're going to go into event landed. Let's just create an event on landed, if I can learn to type. And then you're just gonna want to do reset jump. You can put a sequence before it like this, so you can add more stuff later on to event on landed if you want other stuff over here. Next, let's just drag off this counter pin. This shows us the number of the counter which we're on. For example, if we're on the first jump, it'll show 1. So we're gonna do switch on int. What this does is basically just swap the code for whatever the number is. If this is 1, then we'll run the code on the 1 pin over here. You're gonna add 3 pins. Why? Because you see, 0 shouldn't count as a pin for the jump. We have the first jump and we have the second jump. 0 jump doesn't really count, so we're gonna just leave that empty and drag off the first pin. You can just do simple jump. That's it. That's your jump complete. Why I like you to use this node instead of a launch character is it's just simply better because it maintains velocity. It doesn't really have any bugs, and best of all, it comes with the engine, so yeah, it's pretty tested. And then the second one, you can also do a jump, but I'll show you how you can change the strength of this jump. There's actually 2 very great ways. First of all, we're gonna go into third person character, search up max jump. You can don't worry about this max jump apex attempts. Leave that. We don't really need that. We need jump max count. Simple, right? Set it to 2. Now you can jump twice. Now we didn't need this. We could have just done this. But if we keep this, we can add a launch character node instead of the jump if you want that. So that just makes it better. And this is jump max hold time. So this is just the max time you can hold the jump key and it'll work. Yeah. And okay. So now I'll show you guys how to change any jump, the second jump's strength. It's simple, really. Just get the character movement. This is where we set the jump height. So over here, if you go into under jump and falling, you can see jump z velocity. That's the strength of how high we can jump. So let's just set it to 750 for a bit of a stronger jump. Now what we're going to do is set jump z velocity. Now you can set this higher than your default. Just check your default right where I changed it. Over here I set it to 750. That's my default now. So you can set it higher than 750, so it'll be stronger than the first jump, or you can set it lower than 750, which will be a weaker second jump. Weaker, just, I mean, it just makes more sense. So I'll say to 600. So it's not that big of a difference, but it works. It makes it better. Um, then just copy and paste this, or you can, oh yeah, copy and paste, or you can just do Control D, that duplicates it as well. And you're gonna set it back to the default 750. An easier way you can do this is grab an event, begin play, begin play. You're gonna get the character movement. You're gonna get, not set, get max jump z velocity. Wait, what? Max, sorry, get jump z velocity. Get jump z velocity. And then you're just gonna promote this to a variable called original jump z velocity. Now this variable can just set whatever the z velocity is at the start of the game, means no changes made. Then you can just set it over here, the original jump z velocity after you've jumped. So it resets, and then you can go to the first jump and it'll be as it was before. Simple, extremely simple. And yeah, that's really it. That's it. That's the jump, double jump complete. So okay, why can I not jump? I cannot jump. Wow. Oh, I forgot to set the can jump to true. Don't forget this, guys. I'm very stupid. Can jump to true. Always to true. And then boom, we have a double jump. Bam bam. Now you can see this feels very uncontrollable, right? So I'm gonna show you guys how to change that as well. So we're not gonna mess around with gravity and stuff. You can set it higher or lower if you want, but mainly we want to get the max acceleration and set it to 1000. This will also affect ground, so you'll instantly get to the max speed. See? And then this will also change how much control you have in the air. There's one more thing we can change to make it even more controllable. It's literally called air control. Just set to something like 10 or 100 if you want the final boss or something. Final boss of air control, and yeah, you got perfect air control. You can change the values. You can not have this if you like in your game, but that's it. This is the more arcadey version of a jump. And yep, if you have any issues, just comment. I'll reply instantly. I mean, I'm a small YouTuber. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya. Just one quick note, guys. If you guys want to see this double jump implemented into my own game, it's on my channel. It's called Revolt. If you guys want to see how it actually works in my own game, it's the exact same system, by the way. It's my own system. So you can go and check that out if you want. And I'll see you later.